Nothing to it.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Nothing to It. I'm your host, the Tulip Guy, and today we're going to be filtering our used oil. The purpose of today's video is not to get an extended life out of your oil, but just to get a couple extra uses out of it by getting rid of a lot of the particles and discoloration that might be in your oil. What you're going to need for today's episode is a few rubber bands, a cheesecloth, a metal screen, a wet cloth, your used oil, and a large container to catch your oil in while filtering, and also a funnel if I can find the thing. That's going to show up later on in the episode when I locate it. Before you do anything, you're going to want to make sure that your strainer or filter or screen, whatever you want to call it, can fit on your container in a way that when you pour the oil into this later, it's not going to fall in or fall off. This one's in particular has a couple of hooks on it that allows you to latch onto the edge. Cut out a little chunk of cheesecloth that will fit over my strainer. I'm going to push it in, and on these little tabs here, I'm going to use the rubber bands to hold it in place. Another one goes on the back of the handle that holds the fabric in place at the back side. The purpose of your wet cloth is to clean up some spills when you're pouring this into this, in case you have to stop because this is getting too full and you have to allow for it to filter through. In the event that you need to stop pouring, put it back down the counter and literally just wipe the sides off. Once you've got everything in place, the next step is uncap your oil, start pouring directly into the center of your cheesecloth. Try not to allow it to go in so fast and hard that it would pull your cheesecloth out of place. It is only held on by elastic bands and it's just kind of loosely fit. So try to make sure you're doing it carefully. Once you're in position, just start pouring away. I had to stop for a brief moment, reposition my cheesecloth, and as you can tell, when I first started pouring, you saw the first mistake that I just told you about was don't pour it too fast, and it just splashed out on the floor. So I just wanted to clean up the oil so I wouldn't slip on it. But if you happen to do something like that, just pause, reset yourself, and then try again. You might notice that your oil is slowing down as it nears the end of the jug of oil that you have. That's probably because inside the cheesecloth, all the particles from the oil that's being filtered out is slowly clogging up all the fibers of your cheesecloth. So what you might want to do is get another piece of cheesecloth, redo this whole setup again, and continue on. Or if you end up getting to the end of your draining, all you have to do simply is take it off and throw it in the garbage. Alright, so what we've done here is we put our funnel back into our original container that the oil was in. Prior to putting the oil back in, you can take this time to clean out your jug a little bit if you like. I chose to do so. Now comes the hard part, putting all this oil back into this jug. For your viewing pleasure, I'm going to attempt to do this one straight shot from this container to that container. I decided to move myself out to the garage for this little adventure because I did not want to make a mistake of spilling this all over my kitchen floor. So I'd rather be out here with a pair of crappy shoes on, going for it. Here we go. Today's bonus method is the cornstarch method. So we're going to add some cornstarch to this water here. And basically what we have to do is mix that water into a slurry. And once you've mixed that, you add it to the cold oil. And then slowly heat the oil up. And supposedly as the oil heats, you keep stirring this around, and all that cornstarch is going to collect the sediment and particles in the oil. The oil is starting to heat up now. As you can see, as I stir it, you can see that the cornstarch is starting to clump and collect some of the particles in the oil. As you can see, the cornstarch has collected quite a bit of debris and sediment from the oil. We're going to turn this off and let it cool now so we can remove all this stuff to the garbage and then filter the last bit of the oil that's remaining in here. So the oil has begun to cool down a bit now. As you can see, there's this congealed ball of muck in the bottom of the oil. It still seems to break apart a bit as I try to scoop it out. So I'm going to wait for the oil to get completely cold. And hopefully I can scoop that ball out in one shot. If not, I'm going to do what I did earlier in the earlier part of the episode where I pour this oil through a cheesecloth and collect that. Throw it away so I can have the good oil for using again. I decided to go with the cheesecloth straining method for the stuff that was in my pot because I didn't want to strain it directly into my oil here in case this clumpy stuff doesn't come out exactly like I thought it was going to. So hopefully we can filter out the debris stuff through the cheesecloth, or kind of keep it in the pot if possible, and keep the goat oil here. And if it looks good, I'm going to transfer it to the jug. As you can see, it's quite a bit of debris collected in that oil. This concludes today's episode of Nothing to It. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you do, like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Until next time, there's nothing to it.